I don't know about you, but I think video games are cool. Like really, they're really cool. I wish I actually had more time to play video games because I would take full advantage of all the titles that have been released in the past few years. Unfortunately, I just don't have any time. What would be even cooler than video games itself is if those games were actually adapted into live action feature films that we can see in the theaters. Now, Hollywood has been trying to do this for quite some time, and they've never really succeeded. Video game movies suck for the most part. I mean, you've only had like a brief handful of titles that are critically acclaimed and loved by the audience. A couple of those are, one of my favorites, which I'm probably sure you haven't heard of, is Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Yes. This came out on YouTube in 2014. It wasn't in theaters, but man, I was all over that film, and I even have it right here on Blu-ray. The full movie is on YouTube if you want to go watch it. And also the last Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Sega Genesis, we all remember that. You know, Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, that was good too. And some of you also may consider Mortal Kombat, the original that I have on Blu-ray as well. I mean, this is a good movie, but it's also a horrible movie at the same time, but we all love it. And no, I am not including the new rebooted Mortal Kombat that is on HBO Max because, to be honest, when you think about it, that film is just actually disappointing. The intro was great, but let me not get too sidetracked. We're here for Uncharted, another video game movie. So is this film going to break the curse that video game movies suck and should just be abolished from the earth? Or will it make it into Brandon's little collection of movie adaptations that are actually good? Well, let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my movie review for Uncharted. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me that thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, we are here with Uncharted, a popular video game that has been on the shelves for quite some time in the past few years. To be honest with you, I know absolutely nothing about this game. I never played the game, and I've done something with this movie that I don't think I've ever done before or in a long time. I went in seeing this movie without watching the trailer at all. All I knew was that we have a character named Nathan Drake, and that's being fulfilled by Tom Holland. Mark Wahlberg is also coming into the fold, and that this production has been going through hell with so many delays and creative differences and people coming in and dropping out that it was just horrible. I'm just like, now, whoa, what is this thing going to be here? Now, that doesn't always warrant that it's going to be a crappy product in the end. You know, I think it was World War Z that kind of went through some things like that, and that film ended up being amazing in my opinion. So you do have your exceptions here and there, but my expectations for this were extremely low. Now, we have it right here. This is being directed by Mr. Ruben Fleischer, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of his name before. He's been in Hollywood for quite some time. These are the films that he's most known for. Zombieland, which I did like. I did not see Gangster Squad, but everybody told me that that was a disappointment. Venom was okay. It was cool. The second Venom I didn't like. He wasn't a part of that. And he also did Zombieland 2. He also did that 30 Minutes or Less that came out a number of years ago. I did like that. Would that come out in 2011? That was actually pretty good as well. And so this is the man right here, Ruben Fleischer, that is on top of this Uncharted movie. And like I said, you have Tom Holland and also Mark Wahlberg, and you have this popular title, Uncharted. You're like, hey, I think we're going to have a good time on our hands. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. Street smart Nathan Drake, Tom Holland, is recruited by seasoned treasure hunter Victor Sully Sullivan, Mark Wahlberg, to recover a fortune amassed by Ferdinand Magellan and lost 500 years ago by the House of Moncada. What starts as a heist job for the duo becomes a globe-trotting white-knuckle race to reach the prize before the ruthless Santiago Moncada, Antonio Banderas, who believes he and his family are the rightful heirs. If Nate and Sully can decipher the clues and solve one of the world's oldest mysteries, they stand to find $5 billion in treasure and perhaps even Nate's long-lost brother, but only if they can learn to work together. All right, guys, so like I said before, going into this film, my expectations were extremely low to non-existent, but unfortunately, I was still disappointed with this film. There just wasn't anything that stood out or could be remembered by it. And the only reason I was interested, like I said, was it was a popular title, Uncharted, that I heard everyone talk about, and you had leads like Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. After seeing this film, there isn't anything that's getting me excited to check out the video game if I do ever get time to play them. After seeing this, Uncharted just won't be on that list. And the two leads that I wanted to see, Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, they didn't do anything for me either. They were possibly some of the worst parts of this film. And let me just start off right there with the characters. Not just those two, but I think this entire film was miscast. Nobody fit in the role that they were trying to portray on screen, and everybody just stood out like a sore thumb. And let's just talk about Tom Holland. There was just nothing convincing about him at all to me. The film started off trying to create a relationship with his long-lost brother, and there was just nothing there, nothing to hold on to. They tried to be dramatic, but I just didn't feel anything as an audience member. And as the time progresses on to present day, all I can see was Spider-Man on film, and it was kind of distracting. Tom Holland's character, Nathan Drake, is supposed to be some advanced action adventure explorer, pickpocket thief, to my understanding. And the execution of him going around pickpocketing people, that was fine, but I just did not buy him as this explorer that knows how to fight and get around. I mean, he just seemed too young to fulfill the role. And then when you get over to Mark Wahlberg, the Sully character, there was nothing compelling about his character at all either. He was bland as hell. All he did was memorize his lines and recite them on set. And there was no inflection ever in his performance throughout the whole entire movie. He just wanted to get a paycheck. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just blah. And that's just really unfortunate because they are both talented. Now, I'm not saying that this had to be as good as Indiana Jones or even National Treasure, because I love both those films, especially the latter. But they didn't even come remotely close. At no time when these two duos are going around the city trying to solve puzzles and use their clues and globe-trotting around the world, did I ever feel there was a challenge at hand? Did I ever feel that there was in any moral danger or peril? Was I ever at the edge of my seat? No. Did I ever think that they were going to die? No. Each and every time they came up to something, I just knew that they were going to be okay. And when you have a film like this with no stakes whatsoever, and everything is just easily solved. I mean, as soon as you come across a problem, you find an answer just like this. There's just no weight to the film. And again, it's blah. Now, there were a couple of brief moments to where your toes did crinkle up just a bit. And that was a foot chase between Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, and another character that I'll bring up in a second. And also that same character when they was about to drown in another scene. But when this film is over an hour and a half, I don't even know how long it is. I don't even care to look it up. If those are the only two moments to where the film is grabbing an audience member, how do you expect to keep their attention the whole time? I lost focus more times than I want to remember trying to watch this film, and that's just not a good thing. Now, if the action and the adventure aspect is not coming through as strong as you want, maybe you can then lean on the comedy. And during the first act of this movie, there were a few moments where they tried to drop a few jokes, but to be honest, they all fell flat. I didn't laugh one time at any of them, and no one else did in the theater with me, and that's just not good. Then again, going back to the characters of Sully and Nathan Drake, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, there is no chemistry at all between them. This is the most forced pairing I've seen in Hollywood in quite some time. Honestly, at one point, I don't think I've ever said this before, but I was like, man, I am getting sick of seeing these two males. We need to bring in some woman energy in this film. And they did, and that brought the film up just a little bit. I do not know the name of this actress right here, Sophie Ali. The only thing I know her from, or when I looked it up, was she was a part of Truth or Dare, a film that came out in 2018, and I don't remember her in that. If you're a fan of her work, please let me know below. She was a part of the foot chase that I spoke of earlier that I did like. And there's also another cast member that I want to talk about, Tati Gabrielle as Braddock. there wasn't anything special about her either, but I did like her energy. You know, her female presence did kind of catch my eye just a little bit. So that was cool too. The only thing I know her from is the Emoji Movie, and I didn't like that movie as well. And so those are just some of the good things about the characters. But going back to Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg, like I said, I mean, there was just no chemistry at all. And it was kind of annoying trying to hear them bounce off each other in the dialogue within this movie. And Nathan, Tom Holland's character, is annoying. It's just really frustrating that he's so trusting of Sully just meeting this guy being recruited 5 minutes ago. But you just want to go on a globe-trotting quest with a stranger across the world? I don't know, man. You're supposed to be a genius, but you're not coming across that way. And then what makes it worse, when they're going on a heist, I said before that you just know that every time they're going to solve the problem and get out okay, they're not in any moral danger at all. They don't ever have a plan. It's just so random and stupid. I mean, I would not be surprised if every time they went on the mission before it started, they're like, okay, hey, I know we don't know what we're doing, but we're just going to show up and do our best. All right, 1, 2, 3, do your best. And then they just go and win. And it's like, what? Anybody could do this. You know, there's no skill or talent that you're using. You're only winning and coming out of this situation off of dumb luck. And that is not entertaining at all. And nobody makes a smart decision in this movie, the protagonist or the antagonist. I have never seen so many times in my life where somebody purposely would botch a mission where they could be filthy rich. I mean, you're gonna want to rip your eyeballs out. I mean, I don't want to spoil it. This is probably in the trailers, I don't know, but there are flying pirate ships at the end. And my goodness gracious, people are dumb. I'm just like, secure the bag, secure the bag, secure the bag. Once you see the movie, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't know what they was doing with this decision and making this movie and this certain plot point right here. It's just stupid as hell. It's not clever. It's frustrating. I mean, these characters don't have a brain. I'm like, nobody, y'all done, you done wasting our time now. Y'all done flew across the world trying to do this, risking your life. And then you have this opportunity right here, but you want to play Russian roulette with helicopters and spaceships and all that stuff. Not spaceships, pirate ships. I'm getting frustrated, but I just didn't like the film. It just wasn't good, unfortunately. Other than the female energy coming in, a few moments of tension with a couple of characters about to drown and the foot chase, there was just nothing memorable about it. I mean, they even tried to start this film out with an action scene, but I didn't know what was going on. There was just no context. It was just people flying in the air. And then when they showed it later on in the film, I was like, oh, what a waste. I'm not surprised anymore. I mean, I know, I'm gonna keep going. I mean, another decision a character made at the end, I mean, like, just completely suicidal. I mean, you in an airplane, but you want to sabotage without a parachute. It's to ask the question. It's mind-boggling. No, I'm gonna go ahead and stop there because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. But guys, this film just wasn't for me, unfortunately. Maybe it will be for you if you are a diehard fan of the game. Still see the film. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money. I'm just giving you my opinion. So guys, that is just my opinion. I will go ahead and give my rating for this movie at the very end. But if you did like this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel, helping me reach 35,000 subs on my way to 100K. And also guys, make sure you come back this Sunday, February 20th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. CST for my number 50 movie news roundup show. I'm pretty excited about it. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, if I had to give Uncharted a rating out of a 1 out of 10, I would give this movie a 4 out of 10. Yes, a 4 out of 10. But guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.